A manager did not let me buy a wine because I look young while she is holding my ID. So, I made her regret. There's a specific wine I used to pair with food. The closest Total Wine that had it was a 60-mile drive, and it was storming out, and I wanted it for the holidays because most likely I was going to be cooped up inside. Anyways, I go in and pick up the wine and get some other stuff for holiday parties. Was in there maybe an hour and it comes time to check out and the cashier asks me for my ID, so I give it to her and then she tells me she needs to see the ID of the other person I was with. So now I'm confused and say I'm alone? And she says, well, I have to go get my manager. So he comes out to tell me that she told him I was with someone and they need to come back and bring their ID or they won't sell it to me. I told him I wasn't with anyone. He asks to see my ID, looks at it, and says, well, unfortunately, you look young. At this point, I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, you can come back tomorrow alone. I find it extremely disrespectful to tell someone they look young while you're holding their ID in your hand, and not to mention I've been shopping at that exact location for about 4 years and have never had a problem. So I told him about how I drove there and have been shopping there for years and that I even have a second form of ID, and he was just kind of giggling and saying no. I was home pissed about it all night, and the next day I went into the one close to my house to get the other stuff I was getting. Unfortunately, that one was out of the wine, that's why I didn't originally go there. Then I got an email from them to review my experience. They send it every time I go there, and I never do it, but I decided to select the location where I had a bad experience and give feedback on it. So I wrote exactly what happened, and then the next day I got a call from the store manager. Turns out the guy that night was an assistant manager or something. However, he was much more pleasant than the woman who called me. She was extremely rude and condescending and told me that she reviewed the cameras and that someone walked in with me at the same time and that made us a party. I told her I didn't know them. She said it didn't matter. This made me extremely angry because even if that is the case and that is your policy, at least you can offer an apology for the inconvenience or something like that. Her whole attitude and nastiness about the whole thing was really insult to injury. So I decided to look up their policy, and their policy clearly states that this only applies to parties at checkout, so the rule is who is with you at checkout, which that makes sense or is at least more understandable. Another policy I read which was interesting was that any online order not picked up within a week they will issue a full refund to your original payment method. So my friends and I were sitting home drinking the stuff I had got at the other location later that day and telling them what happened, and they were all shocked. I know people who work retail specifically during COVID, and I know what an inconvenience it is to set up big curbside pickup orders because they take up a lot of space on the order shelf. So drunk and mad, I decided to enforce their policy on them and make a $10,000 order for the soonest possible pickup time, which they promise orders ready in 3 hours. So I made sure to order the cheapest, heaviest bottles I could think of so it could take up the most amount of space in their curbside area, and made sure to only order like 1 or 2 of each so they couldn't just give me a case, they had to get individual ones. I ordered their whole supply of Tito since it's popular and it's the holidays and I know people are going to be looking for it. This Total Wine has its curbside order section in the front behind a counter where you can see it. And I know when customers saw it they would ask for it, and then they would have to explain how someone ordered all 238 bottles and they're back there on reserve. Then they'd probably get grouchy and ask for a manager. But the manager would be busy because I also made sure to order a lot of bottles behind glass so they would have to run around with their keys, scrambling to get this order ready. I loaded up the cart and stopped when I got bored and placed the order. I got the email confirmation which specified that you have to wait for the pickup confirmation email and that pickup times aren't guaranteed. So I thought for sure they were either going to cancel the order or call me or something. And something interesting that is sent with the email is a pickup policy that states specifically the recipient of the order needs to be 21. Well, 5 hours later I got the pickup email. It took them longer, but I was still surprised. Then later